attack all members of the human family. This is what you get when you decide to go after a person's child. This is what you get when you choose to attack men, women, medical professionals, those with degrees, those without degrees, and all in between. I bring you greetings on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is my leader, my teacher, and my guide. And I have to make it very clear that they really didn't expect all of this. Give yourselves another round of applause. Come on, come on, come on, come on. It says in the book of Psalms 133, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell together in unity. In the Holy Quran, chapter 3, verse 103, it says, and behold, hold firmly to the rope of Allah, all together and become not divided, and remember the favor that I have given unto you. When you were enemies, and he brought your hearts together, you became, in his favor, brothers. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, our unity is more powerful than a hydrogen or an atomic bomb. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that we should argue over religion after we are free. I have to make this very clear that, please give another hand to Robert Kennedy Jr. and all of those who spoke before me. That man came to me in 2015 when no one in the black community would listen to what is happening to black people as it pertains to vaccines. We thought Tuskegee was it. He came to us and said, there is something happening now that is far worse than Tuskegee ever was. He met with me and I brought my minister, the Western Regional Minister for the Nation of Islam, Minister Tony Muhammad. Once we received that data, we brought that information to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Once he received the data, he said, Mr. Kennedy, not only am I going to bring this information to our community, but I'm going to bring it to the entire world. And he did at the 20th year anniversary of the Million Man March. That was streamed to over 42 countries, to over 1.2 billion human beings across planet Earth. Y'all can clap for that. Come on now, come on. I find it no coincidence that we are standing where Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made his great I Have a Dream speech. Give a round of applause and show love to our beloved ancestor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We like to hear the I Have a Dream speech. We like to hear Mountaintop, but we have run that a little too deep, I would say. The last 2 years of Dr. King's life is when he woke up from that dream. He was interviewed in 1967 on NBC, and he said, I must confess that that dream I had has in many ways turned into a nightmare. And this is one of the circumstances that he was referring to. What would cause a Muslim, a Christian, and the members of the Jewish community to stop arguing? You can laugh. What? It must be something pretty big. This circumstance has made Satan obviously the one who has declared war on all of humanity. Is that right? Yes. Is that right? Yes. Okay then, well let me make it very clear, not only did he declare war on all of us, but as you see in the audience, you see those who are Muslims, Christians, those in the Jewish community, those who are a part of the spiritual systems, those who are non-religious, Democrats, Republicans, white, black, everyone all in between. This is the example. You used the black community yet again to push poison. You played the people while pimping us. Did I say it clearly? Yes. Say it again?
Yes.
You used the black community. Pardon me, you used,
That's right,
pimped the black community and played everyone else. They used our our artists. They used our athletes, our singers, our rappers to ensnare the masses of humanity while saying the same old tired statement, safe and effective, safe and effective. But you never told them the science. You never told them the data. And you never allowed them to ask the proper questions, but now we are here to answer those for them. And as I close, we do know how to read. I know you didn't read it. Even though it was illegal, I think it's been legal for quite some time. But we read the VAERS information. We read all of the data. We have debated with some of your scientists, some of your quote-unquote medical professionals, and we have found that there were so many things that you have omitted that Mr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. outlined beautifully. But Tuskegee was not the worst. You experimented on 1,500 children in LA in the 90s. You experimented on over 20,000 black and brown women in the prisons of California. You experimented on inmates in Philadelphia. You've experimented on our people for quite some time, and as demonstrated with some of those vaccine injured, you have experimented on over 1 million and potentially over 1 billion people recently with this new quote-unquote vaccine. So this has been the mass COVID experiment.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear me?
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure you stand with me. Almost done. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in his July 4th, 2020 address called The Criterion, he stated, quote, "If you attempt to force this on us, we will take that as a declaration of war." Before anyone attempts to take that as a soundbite and use that as a threat, let me go ahead and make a familiar quote, because you know how they do. This sounds quite familiar. I believe a founding father by the name of Benjamin Franklin made the statement that, quote, "Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God."
Yes!
So I think we are in the epitome of what is called an American. I think we are following what it is called to be an American. And the last I will say here, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan warned the Pope, he warned the President at the time, he warned every member in Africa as it pertains to the leadership, and he warned all members of the human family, and he told them, we do not want your vaccine.
No.
Did he say it?
Yes, sir.
Did he say it?
Yes, sir.
Did he say it?
Yes, sir.
So he is not one, as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him. He said, don't speak for one, speak for the whole. The challenges have been issued, and not one of these medical professionals, not one of these scientists, Fauci nor Gates, have answered the challenge. But I believe from this point on, we must continue to issue the challenge. You must face the challenge. Does that make sense? We have the right and the freedom, as you have stated under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, to our practice of religion, our practice of the freedom of press, our religious freedoms, and as it pertains to speech, and as it pertains to assembly. Are these the First Amendment freedoms that they guarantee to us? Are they? Well, if these are the First Amendment freedoms, then I will say we as a people have to continue to come together, regardless of your color, regardless of your creed, regardless of your religion, regardless of whatever you call yourself, because to them, none of that matters. Our enemies don't argue over religion, while we do. But we need to end that today. So thank you very much for listening.